Hey, it's Jaabo. Welcome to BrickTsar. What would you do if you could travel back in time? It's an interesting question. It's very, very much just a philosophical question because, as far as I know, I'm pretty confident time travel is not possible, at least in the backwards direction. We definitely can go forward, and we can go forward at different rates, but going back involves things that kind of break the laws of physics if you do it. But anyway, it's an interesting question, and it was one that was posed to me by Journal of the Scots. You know, if you could go back in time, what would you do differently? Does that mean what one thing would I do differently, or what many things would I do differently? I don't know. It would be cool to go back in time and see the dinosaurs. I mean, when Michael Crichton wrote Jurassic Park, that was the first novel I can remember that the cover got me. It's just that skeleton, T-Rex skeleton. And then I started, I said, I want to read this. I want to see it. And I had never read books cover to cover. I just wasn't one of those people, unless I was forced to, had to read. But I couldn't put the book down. I read it in just a matter of a few days, which is, there's probably people that read it in a couple of days or a day even, just because they just read all day long. But anyway, it was a very good book, Jurassic Park. Loved that book and loved the sequel to it, Lost World. I actually went back and started reading other Michael Crichton books, but you won't hear that. But the thing is, it would be so cool to see a dinosaur without worrying about it eating you. I actually wrote a fiction short when I was a freshman in college, and it was about a guy who time traveled. But the way the time travel worked is you could see everything, but everything wasn't tangible to you, and they couldn't see you. So it was basically you were going back and like you were watching a recording of history. And my story was the guy went back and then he couldn't come back. He got stuck, and then he was going to die of lack of oxygen or something, or food, and he couldn't touch anything, so he couldn't eat any of the food there. Or that was my story. When I was a freshman in college. It's the last story I ever wrote, I think. But anyway, it would be so cool to do that. But I don't think that's what Journal of the Scots was asking. You can do this a couple of different ways. Like, what would Lego relate it? I mean, because you can think of all of the things that, you have in hindsight. It's 2020, they say. So it's like those deals or the sets to stock up on. The one regret is always I didn't buy the original Millennium Falcon when it was discounted. Another thing is I probably shouldn't have sold the carousel the first time. I'm not going to sell. I did reacquire it, but I'm not going to sell that one. I managed to reacquire it at a price that was less than what I sold it for. So that's pretty good. And I think it's actually in better condition because of the stickers than the one I sold. I hated those stickers on the first Grand Carousel. But then another one is selling the Eiffel Tower, and also selling a lot of the original 9-volt trains and 12-volt trains. I don't know what I was thinking. I sold the castle stuff to buy the train, and then I was like, you know what? I need to downsize. So I went when the kids were small. I said, oh, that reminds me of something else. So when the kids were like 5 and 4, that age group, maybe 3. I thought, you know what, we need to downsize. I got all these bills and stuff, and I don't need all these trains. So I sold some of them, the 9-volt and the 12-volt. But that reminds me of something I've actually talked about before, I think, on this channel. In fact, I know I did because Singular J Tachikawa reached out to me, and I had this hard drive that in 2005, shortly after we moved here, it was down here in the basement. We had a computer set up, and we were loading a game for my son, Jacob. And I don't know what happened. I started the process, and I turned around the corner to go up the stairs, and he's like, uh-oh, Daddy, or whatever he said. I came back down, and the computer had the blue screen of death. And I'm like, okay, no big deal. It happens all the time. But unfortunately, there was 2 hard drives in there. They had the main hard drive that came with the computer, and I bought a secondary hard drive that was larger, and it was like my backup hard drive. But it really wasn't a backup because like all of my pictures and music was on that hard drive. And whatever happened when we were loading that game, the computer no longer recognized that hard drive. And the only way you could access the hard drive was to format it. And I'll tell you why I didn't format it, and I still haven't formatted it. And 16 years later, I still have the hard drive. I did send it to SendKiller. He made his attempt, and he was unable to recover the data from it. I need one of those forensic guys. But on that hard drive were pictures, which is the main thing that I want on the hard drive. And I can visualize it. And there may be less pictures than what my memory recalls. But when I was selling that stuff on eBay, the trains, for instance, we'd set up on the floor. Even I think all the castle sets I would set up on the floor. And then I would take a picture. So, but Jacob and Sarah, they would want to get in the pictures. And I was like, well, I'm putting this on eBay. I can't have you in the picture. I don't want to have you in the picture. So I take a picture of the train, and then I take a picture of them with it. So I had all these pictures of all that stuff. So not only is it a record of stuff that I sold, but it's also pictures of the kids. And then there were other family pictures on this hard drive. There was all the music, all the Napster music. Anybody remember Napster? That stuff that I downloaded. I even had an e-music subscription, which was you paid like $10 a month for free downloads. And I would have to set up the downloads at night because we had dial-up back when that was a thing. So I had, I don't know, 1,000 plus songs on this hard drive. No backups. So if I had a time machine, it wouldn't be to prevent the crash. It would be like, make a true backup. But again, you think about that amount of data, the only way you could back it up is to actually get another hard drive, because portable drives and stuff just weren't that very big back then. So yeah, that was a regret, losing that. So I still got the hard drive. It's got all those pictures and the music on there that I would love to recover someday, but I don't think I ever will. That's the main thing. If I had a time machine, get those pictures. And also, I think I would take a few more pictures through my life. Like when I was a kid, we did have cameras. It's just you didn't think to take pictures. And I'm not talking about like taking pictures of everything we did every day. I'm just like, have a picture of what my room looked like. Have a picture of my Lego collection back then, or other things I collect. My train. I never took a picture. And I don't think my mom ever did either, took a picture of my train layout that I had in my room. A 4 foot by 7 foot train layout in my bedroom. Played with that thing till we just wore it out. I actually redid it one time, and it's like, no pictures. There is one picture of me building it that my mom had, but you only see like a corner of it. All right. Oh, I forgot to say, this is a surprise, this package here. I got happy with the Stanley cutters. So this is from Amazon. It's from James. And let's see what we got. We got, Three Sisters Kicking Horse Coffee. I've not heard of this. Smooth, savory, seductive. Ooh. Roasted in Canada. About this blend, the Three Sisters are a trio of towering Canadian Rocky Mountains. Oh, I thought they were going to say a trio of towering Canadian women. It says, we pay homage to these powerful peaks with a triple punch of light, medium, and dark roast. Great taste and new highs. I'm glad it's not Twin Peaks. All right, so this, look at this. This is something actually I think we need. It's a Mr. Coffee programmable coffee grinder. So we actually accidentally bought the whole bean coffee once, but we never had a coffee grinder. I've never owned a coffee grinder. If we did buy whole bean coffee, we had to get it ground at the store if they had one of those things. So So this means we can try out different things. And you can do, it's got like the different settings, grind settings, 4 to 12. I guess you got to grind it as you go. Integrated cleaning system. So thank you, James, for this. It'll be well used. And if you don't know, the only thing we like better than dinosaurs is coffee. I love my coffee. And yeah, did I say this was a Jurassic Park shirt? I can't remember. Oh, and another thing, if I could go back in time, I would tell my first grade teacher, Miss Verlander, I would go, Miss Verlander, I need to go to the bathroom. If I wasn't shy. Alright, so this is from Lego. You are going to have Lego on your Lego channel. Yes, we are. We got our haul from Lego.com. And this is the Venom sculpture. They had double VIP. There was no free gift for purchase, but I said, hey, it's double VIP. I want to get this, so we got it. So now we got all the sculptures, I think. All the bus helmets and other sculptures like this. It's got, is that Todd McFarlane Venom on the back? I don't know. It makes me want to, I wish I had all the original comic books. So technically the first appearance of Venom is, I think, Secret Wars #4, where Spider-Man and this guy called the Beyonder took all of the superheroes and villains and put them on this planet and wanted them to fight. But Spider-Man's costume got damaged. Was that when the mountain fell down? I can't remember. Was it when the mountain fell down? I haven't read those comic books in 35. Well, I was in high school when that came out, so it's, yeah, it's more than 35 years ago. But the planet gave him, somehow he got this black suit, and that turned out it was a neat little plot line that it went through many issues. You didn't know that the suit was alive, and they would start giving you little snippets of, like, the suit would do things when Peter was asleep. Anyway, Venom. And Spider-Man 298 was the Todd McFarlane issue with Venom. 299, 300. Those were all key issues back in the day that I had get water damage, by the way. Anyway, so Venom, coffee, and dinosaurs. If you had a time machine, which one would you go back for? Definitely the coffee. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video. I will be back tomorrow in a different t-shirt. And what was I thinking? I've been keeping that, like, all my favorite shirts that I wear, and I actually wore this today when we were running errands. I actually cleaned out my garage. I sold my tires that I haven't used in 10 years, or wheels that I hadn't used in 10 years. And paid my tags on the vehicles, ran some other errands, and I was wearing a shirt from upstairs, which are supposed to stay upstairs, and now I got to put it in the box. Might have to go buy another Jurassic Park shirt that's a little different. See you guys tomorrow.